recording going? All right, welcome everybody. This is the Brain Trust After Party with our HR Leaders Executive Group. We just finished up a fantastic hour and 15 minutes of collaborative meeting. And you know, one of our biggest topics that was discussed and our most upvoted challenge was, how are companies reducing turnover without significantly increasing wages? You've probably seen in the news, there's a lot of news coverage of employees actually leaving their jobs to do more, go on their own and contract and things like that. And so it seems to be, a big problem in HR. A big challenge is, how do you retain those employees without increasing wages? It's a very challenging question. And today I've got a panel discussion of HR executive leaders here who want to weigh in on that challenge itself. So what I'd first love to do is just kind of open it up to anyone who's willing to jump in. What are some of the things, ideas that you heard today or that you're implementing yourself in your company that's helping reduce turnover without increasing employee wages? What seems to be working out there? Anyone want to go first?
Well, I'll say we have been very big into trying to hone in on the specific benefits that our team wants. So instead of we have like annual increases have been kind of paused since COVID started. And so we've been adding different benefits. So we've been trying really hard to make sure we're collecting the information. Our population is kind of unique because we've always been work from home. We have a lot of stay-at-home parents that work for us. Some of them are covered, or most of them are covered by a spouse or partner's insurance. So medical insurance has never been like in our top benefits, but they do want things like retirement, having access to a 401k and things like that, which are relatively inexpensive for us to provide for the employees. So we've been trying to just 1 quarter at a time as we hit our goals. We're collecting that feedback from our employees, and we're trying to implement benefits that are low cost to the company that really move the needle for the employees in the absence of those wage increases that we can do right now.
Fantastic ideas. Oh, go ahead, Shauna. Thank you.
Yeah, to Amelia's point, I think a big part of it is listening. And we're learning to be better listeners. Employees are voicing things that they need, that they want. And, they want to see results. And I think the more quickly you can show that I heard what you said you needed, and this is what we're going to do, having their input on certain decisions organizationally definitely make a difference. And then also, I think the listening part is also like in conversations and observing, thinking about what else could we do, and you want to stay within a certain guideline, in regards to cost. And you don't want to overdo it and do too much and they don't want it, or they don't need it, or you waste the money. But you want to be able to be thoughtful about how can we add to the experience. Sometimes it's just adding more of a fun element. So we've been doing a number of fun things that we haven't done before to bring people together and to just lighten up the day a little bit. So I think it's a mix of things, but most of all, it's just really listening and responding more quickly than you have in the past. I think that makes a big difference.
Yeah, one of the other things that was talked about in our breakouts, and I was in there with Sarah, we were talking about just making sure we find ways to build those personal connections between the employees, especially in those remote work environments where it's not just happening naturally anymore. We have to be strategic and intentional in trying to find ways for us to connect as human beings on a personal level, because it's really the people you work with that keep you in your job, right? People keep coming to work because they love their coworkers, they feel connected, they're part of a community. So it's like, how do we facilitate that in a virtual environment for those companies that aren't in the office every day? And so some of the ideas we talked about, our company's really big on having one-on-ones every week for 30 minutes. Those are led by the employee. They get to talk about whatever they want to talk about, kind of getting to know you, questions and icebreakers and company meetings. And then Sarah, was it you that was talking about sharing like personal goals and family goals? You want to talk about that a little bit?
Sure. Yeah. We've done quite a few things to try to stay connected since we've been remote 100% since March of 2020. So our office lease was up in April and we just never went back. And our new office is completed in November. So we've implemented what's called a Thrive program. And it was actually the idea of our CEO. He called me one day and he said, you know, we're flexing the muscle of business goals so much now. What about personal goals? What about this other half of people? And how do we pay attention to that? And if COVID's going to teach us anything, I think it's work-life balance. And I want to pair peers together that normally don't work together and have them discuss personal goals. So we each set a personal goal, a family goal, and then a friend and or community goal. And we talk about it with those peer buddies, and we have a rotation. We're on our 4th rotation right now at a cadence that works for the team. And we hold each other accountable for our personal goals. And it's been really rewarding, both from a water cooler standpoint, which we're lacking right now. We don't have that kind of dialogue going on, as well as just building relationships. We've hired quite a few people during this time and they don't know anybody and they're working in this remote world. And so getting to know each other has really been a great thing. I could also add to that, our president had the idea of having blackouts. So as we're all working from home, I'm sure you've all experienced this. All of our people were starting their day earlier because there was no commute. They were working later because there was no commute. If they had an idea at 9 p.m., they'd go to their computer and implement it because their office is in their home. And they weren't taking vacation because where did anybody go in March or April of last year? And so our president called me one day and he said, our people are burning out. And I said, I know, I can feel it. We thought I know your concern, the company's concern was that they weren't going to be working, but it's the opposite. And so he said, I'm going to implement a mandatory blackout period 3 days a week from 12 to 1:30. And I don't want any meetings, no phone calls, no IMs, no text messages, no emails. We don't want to come back to 100 emails after we're all blacked out. And it's just been great. We had one of our employees say, I just went to the gym with my son. We swam, we sat in the hot tub, and I feel like I just got back from vacation. Thank you. And people were still burning out. So he took one step further. And so now we have 2 days where it's 12 to 1:30. And then on Fridays, it's 1 to 5. And he literally put a calendar hold on our calendars. And it says, if you have work to get done, this is a great time to be heads down and get that work done. If you've put in your hours for the week and you feel ready to go, enjoy your weekend, leave early and do what you need to do. So I think between those two things, and then like Shauna was saying, just listening to your people and really being there to hear and to receive those messages that they're asking for is a big thing to continue to build the culture and build the trust when you're remote.
Excellent points. Excellent points. Liz, Martha, do you guys have any inputs that you would want to cover?
For us, since it's a government agency, we're actually doing what we call we're trying to do a state of the business every month to talk about things that people are going through. And one of the biggest things that has come out of the meeting for us is the mental health of people and what they're doing and the type of business that we are in. So it has helped to have that to help, because we find out people, well, I was going to leave because I wasn't sure where we were going to be because it has been a tough year. It didn't seem like you guys cared. So when we started having those meetings, people began to say, it's not about the money for me. It's about my mental health, being with my family. So we're working with coming up things where people can feel more engaged with their families, because we do sit at our desk and work more and realize that it's okay to take that break. It's okay to go to the store because you have to go run that errand, or take the kid and not worry about being at your desk. So we're doing that every month so people know that it's okay, and it's coming from our agency head.
Fantastic insights. I love that mental health is such a big, widespread thing that people are starting to care about. And I definitely think that gives an edge. I want to thank you all for joining us on the panel discussion today. Some fantastic ideas here. We look forward to seeing you at our next Brain Trust meeting in September. So thank you all for contributing, and we'll see you on the next go around.
Thank you.